reading is 100% a way for us to escape our reality. It's a way for us to explore other cities, other towns, other states, other countries, even other worlds. But that's not to say that what we read can't or shouldn't reflect our current reality in some way. So, hey there, friends. My name is Shalita. If you are new, welcome. For those returning, welcome back. Today, I want to talk to you guys about all the diverse books that I've read this year and the ones that are currently sitting on my bookshelf. So, these are books by diverse authors. These are books with diverse characters, and specifically fantasy. So I want to talk about my diverse fantasy reads for this year. If this sounds interesting to you, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. And without further ado, let's jump right in. Okay, so before we dive in, I just want to say I have my windows open. It is a lovely day outside. We're letting some fresh air in. So if you hear any cars zooming by, that's why. If you hear any loud shouting, that is probably the neighborhood kids outside having a good time. So just wanted to preface that. Okay, so the first books that I want to talk about are books that are in, there are several series that I read this year. So the first series that I want to talk about is the Gilded One series by Namina Forna, or it could possibly be pronounced Namina Forna. So this is a young adult fantasy series, and it is comprised of 3 books. So we have book 1 is the Gilded Ones, book 2 is the Merciless Ones, and then book 3 is the Eternal Ones. So this series centers around our main character, Deka. And Deka goes through this ritual of purity. So it's a ritual when girls come of a certain age, they test their blood. And if the girl's blood runs gold, it means they are impure. And so generally these girls are either killed or they are recruited for the Emperor's army, where they train and become, or where they're known as the Alaki. So they have these superhuman abilities, these supernatural abilities, and they are almost essentially immortal. So immortal to a point. The girls who are deemed, to have the impure blood and join the Emperor's army are basically trained to fight these demonic creatures known as the death shrieks. So this series, I absolutely loved it. Book 1 was probably, out of all 3 of the books, book 1 was the best for me. There's a lot of action. The sisterhood and friendship is probably what really did it for me for this series. It was just stunning. It was amazing. There is a little bit of love in here, a little bit of a love story, but it is young adult, so there's very little spice, if any at all. So very good series. Okay, so the next series that I want to talk about is the Celestial Kingdom duology by Sue Lin Tan, which is comprised of Daughter of the Moon Goddess, which is book 1, and Heart of the Sun Warrior, which is book 2. So this series, I rated book 1 a 5-star. It was stunning, just amazing. And I did a little bit of notation, not a whole lot, but just a very amazing series. Book 2, I think I rated it like 4 stars, maybe 4.5. This book follows our main female character, Jing Yin, and she is the daughter of the moon goddess. Basically in this book, Jing Yin goes on this quest to restore her mom's honor and gain her mom's freedom. So Jing Yin has lived her whole life with her mother, like on the moon, in isolation from the rest of the kingdoms and the other worlds. And, unbeknownst to her and growing up, she didn't realize that her mother had been exiled there. She just thought, hey, we're just living life here, me, mom, and mom's servant. She learns down the line that, hey, no, mom had actually been exiled there. So anyway, like I said, Jing Yin goes on this quest to, restore her mom's honor and gain her mom's freedom. Magic in this, action in this. We have the evil emperor and the evil empress in this, and we have a little bit of a love triangle. So no spice in this one. Even though there's a little love triangle in there, there's no spice in this. We do have like some closed door scenes in here, but this is a really excellent read. Book 2 was a pretty good too. Book 2 actually like wrecked me emotionally. So a very good series. Next we have the Legacy of Arisha series by Tomi Adeyemi. This is a series that also started out as a reread in anticipation of the 3rd installment. So I read books 1 and book 2 a couple years back, and I wanted to reread it in time for the release of book 3. So this series is definitely one that is just near and dear to my heart. Book 1 was a 5-star read for me. I think book 2 was a 5-star as well. Book 3, I will say, did let me down a little bit. It did let me down just a little bit, but still overall for me, it's still a 5-star series. So in this series, we follow our main female character. Okay, these kids are causing a ruckus outside. I gotta close the window. These kids are like really popping off out there. This series follows our main character, Zaylee. And Zaylee and her crew basically set out on this mission to bring back magic. There was this great event that happened off book, and magic was basically eradicated by the monarchy. They killed all the adults that had the ability to, perform magic. So they killed all the adult magi. And y'all, these kids are really outside losing their mind right now. Like, they really, I hope my microphone is not picking it up. But even with my windows closed, I can hear these kids, losing their minds outside. Okay, so if you hear any kids, screaming, it's not me, it's not mine. It's definitely outside. So anyway, back to this book, back to the series. So basically when the monarchy killed all the adults, all the adult magi, that eradicated magic. The children didn't have any magical abilities. There was no one to perform the rituals to bring them into power. So essentially the monarchy wiped out all magic. Zaylee and her band of friends and her brother, they set out to bring magic back. So this whole series is basically this battle between the magi and the monarchy. So lots of battle scenes. And this is young adult, but it gets violent. Okay, so but really good. So lots of action. There are a couple of love stories in here, so very good. We have an enemies to lovers type aspect in here. Friendship. Just a really good series. Okay, really good series. Young adult, fantasy, action packed. Very good. Highly recommend this if you have not read it. Also, this is slated for this has been optioned for a movie. I think a movie or a series. So I cannot wait for that. The next series I want to talk about is the Gods and Monsters series by Amber V. Nicole. So I read book 1 last year, and then book 2 is Throne of Broken Gods, or book 2 is The Throne of Broken Gods. Book 3 is The Dawn of the Cursed Queen. So this is 100% an adult fantasy. So 100%. So this series follows our main character, Diana, and our main male character, Sam Kyle. So Diana is an Igmorathan, which is this shape-shifting creature. So she's part human, part Igmorathan. And then we have Sam Kyle, who is like the ultimate god. He's the god of gods. So Diana is, you know, what they call a morally gray character. Diana does a lot of bad shit, but it's always for a good reason. She will do anything for those that she loves, okay? Just throw that out there. Essentially, this series is about, you know, the good guys versus the bad guys. So the bad Igmorathans versus the gods and the celestial beings. So good versus evil type situation. And then of course Diana. So lots of action in this. It is, so it's a slow, okay, so like I said, I read book 1 last year, so it was pretty much a slow burn. So this is like a slow burn. I don't even know when our two main love interests finally get it together. I think it happens in book 2, but, or did it happen in book 1? I can't even remember. Just know that this is a slow burn, but once it happens, there's a lot of spice in this. Not necessarily just them two, but this is a spicy series. So very good series. Like I said, lots of action, spice. There are some emotional moments in here that will like wreck you. So just be prepared, but very good series. Next, we have Cuck's Tall Academy. And this is by Nell Nicole and Michaela Hornado. This one I received as an e-arc. This book was really cool because it is inspired by Mayan mythology. And I failed to mention that the Legacy of Arisha series, that it's like based on or inspired by African mythology. But back to Cuck's Tall Academy. This one is, like I said, inspired by Mayan mythology, which I think is really cool. I mean, haven't heard of a book yet based on Mayan mythology, so I felt like that was pretty awesome. So this one has a dual POV. Our main characters are Mira and Koa. They are brother and sister. So this book has a real like dark academia vibe / dark romance / mafia romance. There's a lot of like secrets and political things going on in this one and prophecies. This one felt more like not gonna lie, like I was like, what's the plot? Not saying that it was bad, but I couldn't quite figure out where we were trying to get to in this one. It did feel like we were kind of just like going along, like this is a movie and we're just kind of like following along, which wasn't necessarily bad. It just, the book kind of went on and I was just like, is there an I'm looking for an epic battle. There's no epic battle. We're just kind of, you know, following along, you know, this underworldly aspect, you know, grit and grime. So fun ride, fun read. Next, it's another book I received as an ARC, and it is the Book of Sin. So first I received the e-arc, and then I got the amazing physical copy. Like, she thick, okay? This was such a good read. So this is another one. So this one also kind of has like a dark academia vibe to it. So our main character in this book is Hyacinth. They call her Sin for short. So Sin and her group of friends, they are orphans in this orphanage. And there is when you reach a certain age, when you reach, I think 21 or 22, you can decide whether to leave the current realm that they live in. You can leave that realm and venture out to another realm and become what's known as a traveler, or you can stay. So, but once you leave, like you're gone. That's it. You know, you can't come back. On the day that Sin is supposed to you know, on her choice day, the day she's supposed to make her choice, you know, there's an attack on their orphanage. And so basically from there, the book kind of follows Sin and her friends on this quest, this adventure to keep her safe and to find out the truth behind this ancient prophecy about a child with like magical abilities, which it turns out Sin also has these great abilities. So they are basically fleeing their home to not only try to, you know, get more intel on this prophecy, but also fleeing their home to protect Sin. So there are battles in this. There are dragons in this. There are magical abilities in this. There is a love story in this. So this is a really good book. I would definitely say with a lot of these books that I've mentioned, check the trigger warnings. Definitely check the trigger warnings with this one. There are references to domestic violence. One amazing thing about this one and Cuck's Tall Academy is the mental health representation in these. So, and Cuck's Tall Academy also has a dyslexia rep. Very amazing. You've got diverse characters, you've got diverse authors, and you have, you know, mental health representation. So, awesomely done there. So those are all the diverse fantasies that I read this year so far. Next, I want to talk about all the diverse fantasy books that I actually have physically in my possession. So first I'm going to start with the two that I'm currently reading. And these are both on my fall TBR. If you want to know what else is on my fall TBR, check out that video. I will link it. So I am currently reading Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. And, oh, you know what? Hold on, back it up, pump the brakes. I did not tell you guys the author of the Book of Sin. Author is H.M. Wolf. My bad. My bad. All right. Back on track. Okay, so Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. And this one is like a King Arthur retelling. Our main character is Brianna. She is in a special program at the University of North Carolina. It is a special program for high school students, kind of like early college. And she witnesses something. She witnesses something on her first night on campus, which basically opens her eyes and her mind to the fact that magic is real. And she soon kind of puts some puzzle pieces together and realizes that, hey, somebody wiped her memory on the night that her mother died. So she's basically sets out on this quest to figure out the truth about her mom's death, which leads her to become involved with this, you know, secret society, you know, the Order of the Round Table situation. So she kind of gets involved with this, you know, secret society on campus, who are basically all like descendants of King Arthur and, you know, the Knights of the Round Table. I am primarily listening to the audio, so I can't even tell you how far I'm in it right now. I think I'm on like chapter 27. Y'all, it's another chunky one. But anyway, so far so good. Okay, so far so good. Like I said, I'm primarily listening to the audio, and it took me a little minute to get into it. I ain't gonna lie. It took me a little minute to get into it, but so far so good. Not a bad read. This print, y'all, is whew doggy. This print is teeny tiny. The next one and this is like my most anticipated read for fall. So this is Vampires of El Norte by Isabel Cañas. This is a historical fantasy / historical horror. And this is So it's set in 1800s Mexico. And I mean, it says it right there. It's about vampires, right? So vampires in 1800s Mexico. What more can you ask for? There also appears to be like a little love story in here. Our main characters are Nana and Nestor. And it's so cute the way it starts out too, because they're like childhood best friends slash childhood sweethearts. So, you know, when the book starts off, they're like 12 and 13 years old. So I'm not that far into it yet. I'm currently reading this actually for a vlog. So hopefully the next time you see me, I should be done with this. Fingers crossed. So kind of like a little spooky vlog coming up. So that's one of the books I'm reading for that. All right, so those are the diverse fantasies that I'm currently reading. Okay, so let's dive into the other physical diverse fantasies that I have. Okay, so first up we have This Ravenous Fate by Haley Dennings. And this is, I believe this is a debut. This is a debut book for this author. It just came out within the past couple of months. So this is a historical fantasy, and it is a sapphic vampire romance set in the 1920s in Harlem. So we're set around the time of the Harlem Renaissance. So you got jazz, you've got, you know, like speakeasies and bootlegging and all that type stuff. And we got black vampires, y'all. We got black vampires. So I am very intrigued by this one. Can't wait to dive into this one. Also another vampire book. We have Immortal Dark by Tigus Germa. So I don't know if this is a debut novel or not. Once again, I've never read anything by this author, but this could very well be a debut. I don't even know. But I saw it on, you know how we do. We see it on Book Talk, Bookstagram, YouTube, and somebody say vampires, I come running. So this one is also a vampire book. This is a vampires and humans type story. We have enemies to lovers. What else did I put on here? So our main female character is, what is her name? Kaiden. That's our main female character. So she is basically on this mission to figure out what happened to her sister. So her sister disappears and she's trying to figure out what happened to her sister. So she kind of gets involved with these vampires at this academy. So intrigued, vampires, humans, sounds like enemies to lovers situation probably in here. So sounds good. So the next one we have is Blood and Brujas by Michaela Hornado. So, I mean, I think the title says it alone. Blood and Brujas, clearly we're talking about vampires and witches. So our main character is Dayanara. She is this badass witch, and her mother is the leader of the witches. So to call a truce between the witches and vampires, her mom arranges for her to marry the vampire king. And beyond that, I don't know. I'm assuming there's going to be lots of fighting, action, and violence in this one. So looking forward to this. Next one we have is The Girl with No Reflection, and this is by Keshe Chow. So this one is about a princess who is forced to marry a prince, and she thought she was going to live happily ever after, but apparently not. He locks her in a room with a strange mirror. A lot of strange things start happening. There are a lot of rumors flying around that he had 5 other brides and they all disappeared. So this one sounds kind of creepy, kind of weird, kind of good. So I'm really excited about that one. The next book we have is The Library of the Dead by T.L. Huchu. So this book is about our main character, Ropa. Ropa is a ghost talker. So I guess think Whoopi and Ghost. She facilitates these, I guess, meetings, these conversations between families and their deceased loved ones. So it's all well and good. That's how she makes her bread and butter, right? Well, then the ghosts start telling her about these children, getting bewitched. So then Ropa has a whole new mission now. You know, it's not just to facilitate these lovely little meetings between the loved and the deceased. Now she's got a mystery to solve. She has to figure out what's happening to these children. So this one sounds good. This one was a total cover purchase, by the way. Like, totally. I was on, what is that, Book Outlet? So this was like my first purchase from Book Outlet, and I saw the title and I saw the cover and I was like, yes, gotta have it. So next we have Tales of the Celestial Kingdom by Sue Lin Tan. So this is not book 3 in that series. We discussed the series earlier by Sue Lin Tan. This is more or less, these are short stories that come before the events of the series, and then there are stories in here also that happen years later after the events of the series. So isn't that, I mean, I just love the covers on her books and the artwork. Isn't that just, and it's got that foiling, so boom boom pow, boom boom pow. Love it, love it, love it. Next up, So Let Them Burn by Camila Cole. So this one has magic, it has dragons. So we have our main character, who is Farron. She is this total baddie with magical abilities, with magic powers. Like I said, there are dragons in this. So apparently Farron's sister forms this bond with an enemy dragon. And the only way to break that bond is to kill her sister. To kill her own sister. So the only way to save her from the bond is to kill her. So Farron has to find a way to basically save her sister without killing her sister. So this one sounds like a wild ride. Next we have A Song of Wraith and Ruins by Roseanne A. Brown. So this one is part of a duology. This is book 1. I have never read anything by this author, so this ought to be, so hopefully this one is gonna be a good one. Okay, so this book is an enemies to lover story. There's magic in here. There's a deadly competition in here. So it sounds like there should be lots of action, romance. I'm looking forward to it. So exciting. Also really stunning cover art. All right. Next we have Trial of the Sun Queen. Trial of the Sun Queen by Nisha J. Tooley. And this one, I'll keep looking down because I'm looking at my notes. Let's see. Okay, so this one also involves a deadly competition. So our main female character is basically an outcast. She's in this competition, but apparently the other girls competing in this competition don't feel like she's earned the right to be in it. So it looks like they were all competing to become the queen. But she has her own reasons for being in this competition. She's out on a quest for vengeance. So, sounds good. Sounds like there's going to be some action, some drama. Excited to read this one. So the next one I have is Iron Widow, and this is by Jiren J. Zhao. Jiren J. Zhao. Okay, I hope I'm not butchering that name. But, y'all, that cover, check it out. That's beautiful. I mean, basically it's a story about humans versus aliens. Our main character is Zishan, and she sounds like a total badass. I hear this one is full of a lot of like female rage. Like she's a total baddie. And she's out on a quest for vengeance. It sounds like her sister gets killed. So she's just out there kicking ass and taking names. So the last one that I have for you is The Fall That Saved Us by Tamara Jure. So this is a sapphic romantasy, and it is about angels and demons. So our main character, Cassiel, is a demon hunter or foreman demon hunter, and it sounds like she's gonna fall in love with a demon. So that should be good. That is it. That is all that I have for you guys. I'm tired. I need another cup of coffee. But anyway, that is all that I have for you today. Let's see. Oh, so these. Let's see. Can I get these? Oh, I probably can't get them all in here because I'm like sitting down. But oh, ooh, lean back. Okay, no. Let's get up. Let's get on up. Gotta get on up.